Cisco Firepower and HashiCorp's Terraform series, infrastructure as code, focusing on day 0 and day 1 deployments. All right, we're at phase or part 5, and now we're going to actually push policy. And it's going to be based on everything we've done up to this point. So here's the nice example in GitHub from DevNet. Obviously, use that as a starting point. You can see we've got no policy here, and let's jump right into it. First thing we're going to do is let's quickly look at vars.tf. And var.tf includes our username and password, the host, and it looks for that information in terraform.tf vars, and you can see there's the actual outcome of those variables. Now let's go ahead and jump into main.tf, so our configuration itself. And you can see a lot of what we've already shown, right? We've got our provider, we've got our connection details to FMC, we've got our validating our zones, network objects, ports, IPS rules, and syslog, and we're going to pull that information in so we can use it in policy. We've got this object that we're going to create for URLs. And then we've got this access policy creation with some default settings and block set. And then our rules. We've defined them, and then we've applied it to the device. And now we're going to deploy. Now, the snippet of code, we don't need this portion in the policy deploy because we've already are calling that above. All we need is the resource section in this case, and we're going to ignore and force deploy. We're going to actually make sure that this happens regardless because it's a test environment. The other thing I found was it was failing just based on sequence. The rule would change, and then Firepower, when it's ready to deploy, would say the rules changed, we're not deploying yet. And so I used depends on to make sure that a couple of these things were done before we actually push policy. All right, we'll initialize like we do in every other scenario. And we're going to now go ahead and apply. And I'm going to do auto approve. So I'm not going to see, it's going to still do the plan portion, but I'm not going to see it because, or get an option to say no, because I've already pre-ran this. So I'm very confident that there's going to be some success here. So you can see here, we're starting to go through the creation of the URL objects, the access policies. We're creating the rules, we're assigning the device, and then we get to deploy. All right, that's it. That's everything that we've done up to now in a few seconds, maybe a minute, and it's done. But let's validate. Now, looks good so far. We've got a device assigned, and there it is, deployed. It's deploying. I didn't even touch the GUI. All right, let's just check. Maybe there's something wrong here. No, there's the rules. They all look right. Fantastic. There's our repo. Yep, that looks good. There's our intrusion policies. We got logging. We've got policy assignment, obviously, because it's already at deploy. What about our default block? Yeah, that's there. Look, logging's enabled. It's sending it to FMC. Go ahead and let's edit this policy and have a deeper look here. Oh, there's the IPS. That's the right name. Logging. Yep. End of connection. This is fantastic. Little bit of upfront work to build this out, but look at that, right? Once it's built, now I can just slightly modify and deploy. Here's all of our auditing information, right? Nothing gets by without being logged. We can see there's the repo being created. We can see here's a save policy. We see it again here. And if we want, we can actually look in at that policy and look at the comparison. What is it before and what is it now? And look at that. We're just adding that rule. So everything is being added. It's a clean box. All right, let's go back to access policy. We can see now we're up to date. Deployment has completed. And let's just check here. I just want to see the task. There it is. Policy deployment success. Magic.